We're here now. So Ronell, oh, there's Linda. Linda, did you want to
Hey,
say something before we see you?
Hi, everybody. I'm so sorry, some technical difficulties, but I think it sounds better. Tony, did you already get everybody started, or you want me to say a quick hello?
I did a small intro because I didn't know if you were coming back, but you can go ahead and do your thing real quick since you're here.
Okay. It kind of looks like I'm disappearing and reappearing. So, folks, I just got back from vacation, and this just is par for the course after vacation kind of activity. But in any event, thanks for putting up with us, and good evening to everybody. Good Monday evening, and welcome to the Be On Air Forum. I am Linda Lejeski. I am the National Employer Representative of the Be On Air Network. That includes Ohio Media School in Cleveland, Columbus, and Cincinnati, Illinois Media School in downtown Chicago and O'Hare, Colorado Media School in Denver, and Miami Media School, which is just in Miami, beautiful Miami, Florida. We are supported by Career Services. This is a career service initiative, and our goal is to bring together our students, our alumni, and our extended network so that you have a chance to meet people that are in the industry and for them to provide you with some great insight as you're building your career, or maybe you're already in your career. We've got a rich library of guests that have joined us over the last 3 years, and we invite you to join us on our YouTube channel, which this will land on as well, so that you can learn from our guests and grow in your career. If you're watching us in real time, we're so happy to have you, and apologize again for our technical difficulties, but we are ready to rock and roll, and we've got a comedian on board, so I'm sure he'll make some fun of that. To get started, let me just give a brief introduction. I did hear Tony before I jumped off say that we've got a comedian, and he is also an alumni of Colorado Media School. So we love to talk about our alumni and tell you a little bit about who our players are here so that you can get better acquainted with them. Ronell Hardin is a 2015 graduate of Colorado Media School. He is an on-air guy that has made a transfer over to live on-stage comedy, stand-up comedy, which we're going to learn more about that. As everybody knows, it's just so important to have the right words at the right time, and timing is everything in order to get somebody to listen to you and let them know who you are, what you are, and how you can connect with them. Our moderators, of course, we have the wonderful Tilo. I heard him introduce himself as well, but I love to introduce him in my own special way. So Tilo is an instructor and lead at Illinois Media School in Chicago. He's part of our national branding team. He is a podcaster, The Parley. We invite you to check that out. He is just that guy who is all in it for our students and our alumni, and we are just so happy that he's a part of our Be On Air Forum. I believe Miss Hollywood is also in the house. Holly is an alumni of Colorado Media School. That is her real name, if you're wondering. I think, Tilo, I heard you say that little thing about your relatives, so I'll let that part slide. Holly is a star in all of our eyes. She is a digital media instructor, a performer, photographer, videographer. She's a singer and a true rock star also. And 2018 alumni. So without further ado, I am going to hand it over to our guest and to Tony. And I don't know, are we going to get a little comedy right now? Is that how you're going to open up?
I mean, I could do that, but I mean, let's chat it out. Let's figure out where we're going, and you're going to hear comedy. Don't worry, comedy's coming. It's part of the sandwich.
Okay.
So let's enjoy the sandwich. And
okay. I'm going to toss it to you, Tony. Have a good time, and I'll be in the background moderating questions. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you.
All right, and this is just a reminder one more time, we are allowing a question and answer section in about 40 minutes, so everyone stay tuned. We will get to all of your questions as we go through the forum today. But Ronell, man, welcome in. I'm happy and excited to talk to you. First of all, man, we're both alumni of the program. I graduated from Illinois Media School myself in 2009. Been part of the school ever since, man. I love helping students out, and I love doing this part too when it comes to the forum. I got to ask you first, graduating from the program, what was your first instinct for you? Like, what exactly did you want to do right off the bat? What was that passion for you?
Well, I wanted to get into I was real big into sports. I actually started Colorado Media School when I was in my late 20s. I think I was like 20. I was 28 years old because I graduated when I was 30. And I really wanted to get into sports, find a new outlet, find a way to make some money, do something different. And it was kind of just an opportunity that I saw, I wasn't doing a whole bunch at the time. I had traveled around the world, whatever, and I came home and I was like looking for like something to do. And I'd just got custody of my daughter, so I like needed to do something. So I went to Colorado Media School to kind of just find something. Radio had kind of been like talking and presenting had kind of really been in my something I always wanted to do. And then sports, always connected with sports. I'm a diehard Chiefs fan. I was raised in Denver all day, but I was born in Kansas City, so I'm a diehard Chiefs fan. So I've been winning Super Bowls, so don't worry about me.
Aren't you lucky? Aren't you lucky?
Yeah, I've attended 2 of them too, so I'm feeling pretty good about myself. But no, so I started. I went to Colorado Media School, just kind of looking for something to do, kind of with what I wanted. Excuse me. And I really wanted to stay in the sports world because I was really loving sports. I was kind of trying to find a way to get like free tickets to sports. Like I wanted to go to sports games and not necessarily pay for tickets. You know what I'm saying? Like just be involved. That's kind of like how I kind of looked at being it. Like, how am I going to get to go to all these Chiefs and Broncos game every year for less than $200? And so getting into sports radio was just an avenue that I kind of thought would open that door. It didn't, but it did open different doors, which was pretty fun. So I'm grateful for my time at Colorado Media School, and it was really really eye opening. Really eye opening.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the program, obviously, the school gives you a lot of resources, and you're able to do many different, whether that's internships or just networking with other people, companies. And I definitely can see something like that happening in your path. From what I'm reading as well, you were part of NBC Universal. If I'm not mistaken, I have here. Well, I don't want to read this correctly. You were a technical operations specialist. Is that correct?
Yeah. So I got a job. Actually, so when I tell people about any education or anything that you do, the education that they teach you, not to say it's good, bad, or indifferent, but that's probably the 20% of what's going to actually happen in the world that you're going to go into. The other 80% is the people, the organizations, and the foreshadowing. Because what I learned in Colorado Media School in 2013, 2014 are relevant. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of, obviously there was some of the basics that are still used to this day, like in radio or whatever. But for the most part, it's irrelevant. You know what I'm saying? If you want to go out there and make money in media, you're not going to walk straight into radio. Do you know what I'm saying? You're not going to walk right into a newscast and start doing things to make money. Now it's all, obviously the social media, the YouTubes, whatever. So the network that I built at Colorado Media School is what kept me in good situations. So getting that job at NBC, I literally got the job because of a friend who had gotten a job at NBC straight out of school. Yeah. And then about a year later, I asked him what he was doing. He was like, I'm at NBC. I was like, yeah, are they hiring? He's like, cool. Next thing you know, I'm programming. This is 2014. So I'm programming the live stream that you see on the television into what you see on the app.
Okay.
So now there's probably a program for it, but before we were that program.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I did for them for a year, but it was dope. They gave me a badge, which when I took my daughter to New York, we went to the NBC studios, we went to Rockefeller Plaza, and they treated me like an employee.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I work for NBC Universal myself, for Comcast Sport. It's NBC Universal Comcast for the Chicago sports teams, and so I can definitely relate to you when it comes to that badge and being treated so well. And you being in loving sports and just going into the industry, these were small steps to really where you were going to get to. I wanted to ask you, while you were getting into the media industry and trying to figure out what that looked like for you, did COVID hit when you shifted a little bit your career, or were you still working in radio and TV kind of
No.
in that aspect of it?
Okay, so after did we lose each other? No, there we go.
There we
Um, so I was working here in Denver for a local radio station called Mile High Sports. I got on. I was supposed to do a show with some of my coworkers, some of my classmates that had graduated in or around the same time that I had gone, and then that deal had fallen through because politics as usual. And so then I ended up meeting a guy who had already had a show on Mile High Sports. So him and I worked together for 2.5 years, 3 years. Then he left. He's actually the voice for the Colorado Rapids now,
go.
for the radio station, for the radio broadcast of the Colorado Rapids. He calls the game. He does the commentary for the games on radio. So when he left to take that job, I ended up just taking our show, spinning it to my own show, and I ended up doing that for about 3 years. And my show ended in 2021 because COVID. Because I lost all. I mean, I had my show. He left in 2019. I had my show. He left in 2018. So 2019, I fired up my own show. Got my sponsors, had everything going. I wasn't making a ton of money, but I was making enough money to do my show weekly, to do my weekly show, 2 days a week. So it was fun. I was having fun. I wasn't making a great deal of money. I wasn't like, I mean, put it like this: we was eating, but there was no cheese on the burger.
Mm-hmm.
No cheese. and so, and so, so then after COVID, stuff got, kind of just everything plummeted. I was down. I went from like 9 or 10 sponsors to like 2. So then 2021, it was self-funded, but I had actually started doing comedy in 2019. I had done it before earlier, like in my 20s, when I was young and dumb and drunk. But when I was 36, 35, 36, I was like, I'm going to start doing comedy kind of as a passion project. So then when COVID hit, they took away my radio show and they wouldn't let us do comedy at the same time. They just took all forms of entertainment. So I started doing mortgages. And so 2020 and 2021, I would say I got in at the right time. They compensated me adequately for doing mortgages. So that allowed me to go back to doing comedy full time.
Wow. Well, listen, COVID changed a lot of people's lives, and some drastically in regards to even careers in itself. And I can see you're a semi-product of that, right? As we speak about it.
COVID is the best thing that ever happened to me. And it's the best thing. The reason, and it's like, I grew up like I tell people this all the time. I grew up in the 80s. Like, there's been a recession. I was born in the 80s. There's been a recession since 1984. That's when I was born. Reagan handled all that for me. So growing up and seeing rough times, tough times, I wish in 2008 I was economically in a better place, because when I saw everybody sad and stuff going down, I could have been there going, but then I saw this again in 2012, 2013, stuff was kind of coming back and coming together. And I was like, well, when this happens, I'm going to be ready. And then when COVID happened, I wasn't 100% ready, but I knew nobody else was. And so I buckled down. I mean, I had a radio show, so they deemed us essential workers. I was doing mortgages, so I'm advertising my mortgages on my radio, doing both and both. I was closing 3-4 loans a month, and they were sending us a check.
Yeah.
I don't want to be short. I bought 2 houses. That's just how that's how good COVID was for some people who learned to live from, like, there's a saying, it's like a Chinese word for crisis, means sadness and opportunity. They're symbols, they have the symbols. And so that opportunity, like when I saw COVID happening, obviously I was scared too, but I wasn't as scared as the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going to happen to me? I'm going to get a little sick. All right, I got work to do. Y'all stay in the house, people. Well,
I mean, when it comes to that, you're absolutely right. When things don't go as planned or there's a lot of turmoil, that's when people take the opportunity and say, you know what, I got to springboard off of this and go out there. And from what I see right now, you absolutely did that. I'll ask you this because when it comes down to, what students are learning in the classroom and what they're doing, from social media to just posting and editing, the technical side, these are all things that our students want to do. But you ended up doing something different. You said you tried comedy in 2019. How does that relate for you when you were doing radio, and you were on the TV scene a little bit and looking around? How was that change for you? Was it drastic? Is it easy transition? And had you done it before?
No. Well, so honestly, not to be shrewd. Okay, so comedy's my passion. Comedy is what I should have been doing my whole life. I'm 40 years old. I should be 20 years into comedy, but I was scared. And that's what holds up a lot of people. People are scared. People don't want to take the chance. They don't want to take the risk. There's a saying that I have. I actually read it when I was on vacation one time. It was a little sign, a little placard. It says, sometimes you just got to jump and build your wings on the way down. And with comedy, I was never really willing to do that. So deep down inside, like, long story short, I somewhat kind of started going to the Colorado Media School because I wanted to do comedy, but I was too scared to stand in front of people and do it. So using the microphone and I mean, you could see me from here. I'm not the most attractive person on the planet. So having that buffer between me and the audience was something that I felt was needed, where, come to find out, I could have just got on stages the whole time.
Yeah.
But it took me a $20-some thousand education, a couple jobs, COVID, children, to come to find out it's like life, like being scared to speak publicly is not as bad as walking the days in the lives of a single parent in capitalism, So,
yeah.
So I just kind of like bit the callus off and just said, I'm just going to go for it. And obviously doing mortgages helped me make that jump, what I'm saying? Because I can land at home, but it, I think that comedy has been in the back burner. It's like an adult tooth. Once I lost my baby tooth, it was just waiting to grow in. Yeah. And so, cutting my teeth on life and reality, I should have lost my baby teeth 20 years ago, but I didn't lose them until I was 30 something.
Well, I always tell our students and like everyone who's graduating, like we're all entertainers at some point in any aspect, because we're building content to entertain, or whether we are on the air or not, you're entertaining people. And in your case, you literally are one of the biggest, in the categories of entertainment, you're one of the biggest ones, because you do entertain. And so you do stand up. How do you feel when you do stand up? What is your regimen? I know in the beginning, as you said, people get nervous when they start to do stand up. The stage presence, are the bits gonna hit? How did you really tell yourself, all right, you know what, I'm gonna do these 3 bits or 5 or whatever you did. We're gonna go do it. What was your strategy to not be afraid and go do it, get it done?
Well, so note, I was 36 at the time, or 35 or 36 when I was like, I'm about to do this. I got kids, or I had my daughter at the time. Life was kind of beating me up. So it was more like, I can't lose by doing, sorry, excuse me. Excuse me. I had a therapist. I was going to therapy, and because I was going through some things, trying to balance life out. Life gets to people. And so I had a therapist, and I would go see this lady, and this lady would laugh. She would sit there and laugh for an hour. I paid this lady $100, almost $200, and she just laughs the whole time. At first, it was a good conversation because we're laughing. But like that 4th or 5th time, I'm like, this is my trauma. Like, this isn't like, you're just laughing. She was like, have you ever tried comedy? And I was like, yeah, whatever. Didn't think, kind of brushed it off. But it was a white lady. So then I ended up, this is around that time they started talking really about mental health and healing and all that. So I found a Black male therapist. I live in Denver, Colorado. So let's say it was really hard to find this person. Like, I put it like this. I bumped into myself twice before I found this guy. You know? I'm nowhere near medical school, but I was like, oh snap, I can't hire me, can I? But no, so I found this guy, and you know, he was more. So I would go do the things, and he would laugh too. He was laughing the whole time. Same thing with this lady, but he was like, he kind of got it. You know, like you could just, he understood. He's like, yo, no. That's funny, but that's something that's deeper than what you're thinking. Where somebody who hadn't lived kind of something similar to me couldn't explain that to me. And then he literally said the same thing. He was like, have you ever tried comedy? And I was like, you know what? I'm done with you people. Y'all literally giving me I heard two of you people say the same thing. So I started doing stand-up because it's $150 cheaper than going to therapy. And if they don't laugh, it wasn't even about laughing or not laughing. It was more like, I got something I need to tell you guys. And I can't tell anybody. You know, it's like weird. Like I want to tell everybody, but I can't like pick up the phone and tell anybody.
Yeah.
And so that's what it became. It was really just therapy sessions. And then when, you know, once I started getting traction in the community and people started telling me like, no, you're pretty funny. You're kind of good. Then I put my own show on. Then it just started rolling, you know, and then I just never really looked back. But, I think without Colorado Media School giving me that buffer, because I mean, I was afraid to speak.
Yeah.
In public. So I thought radio would be perfect because if you don't want to hear me, if you're mad, you got to call in.
Yeah.
You can't boo me. You got to call in, you know?
Yeah.
And so once I got past that, well, I mean, obviously in my older age, I don't care what you think. You can call me ugly, call me fat, call me skinny, call me a bad dad, call me whatever you want. It doesn't stick anymore. I'm going to go sit in my nice car, go to my nice house, kiss my beautiful kids right before they go to sleep and do this again tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So once I got like that confidence, then there was nothing you can say to me to hurt my feelings back.
Yeah.
And then standing on stage and presenting my struggles or my jokes or my art, it kind of really became nothing. Now, I don't want to speak as if I just get on stage and do it. No, I get nervous every time. I'm nervous. I'm just as nervous as at an open mic than I am at a show that they're going to pay me $30, $40 to be at. You know what I'm saying? Equally as nervous. Like it's just that you don't want to fail. You don't want to do bad. You want these jokes to work. You know, like how you said earlier, you're saying like we're all entertainers. Entertainment, us being entertainers is only 20% of the job. The other 80% is marketing, promoting, scheduling, networking, calling back, feeding yourself. You got to clean yourself. To you getting on stage and being that entertainer. And that's something that I'm dealing with now. I didn't know. Somebody's like, have you looked to get, you know, management? I'm like, what? I don't management. I'm just trying to stand on stage and tell jokes. They're like, yeah, you got to get booked around the country. You got to call people. I'm like, what? I got to pick my kids up. You know, so it's you know, so it's a growth thing, you know. And so the main thing I want to say to people out there is your network is your net worth. That's what it's all about. Like even in comedy or even when I was in Colorado Media School, the jobs that I got and the places that I was going was based on the people that I met in the school. Yeah. It wasn't necessarily what they taught me how to do because, like I said, a lot of the stuff's irrelevant now. They didn't teach us how to build a YouTube page. They taught us how to make a YouTube, but they didn't show us how to curate and nourish a YouTube. But it wasn't their fault. It's that's not what they were doing. It's not where the puck was. Yeah, at the time. And so that's one thing with education is you got to know where the puck's going, so you know what you're learning. Mm-hmm. Because when I was telling people we should do our show on YouTube, they were like, nah. You want to be on terrestrial radio? That's how you're gonna get the listens. And then at the time, Joe Rogan was on like episode 28 or 30. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Now he's on 3,000, and yep. You know I'm on my 5th year of comedy.
Yeah, it's all good information right there, honestly, and you're absolutely right. You know, the school gives a foundational learning set for you, and you have to take off with that. And on top of the education part and learning it, it's the networking. Like we mentioned before, you got to be able to speak to different people, find out what they're doing, see if you can connect that way. It can blossom opportunities. When it comes to you, Ronell, you know, bits and comedy. Right now in comedy, what we see a lot of is, yes, you know, you got to have some bits, you got to have some jokes, you got to be able to, even if you recreate them in certain ways, you got to be able to dish it out, and of course your personality behind that as well. Are you a comedian that relies solely on your bits, or do you play with the crowd a little bit? Because that's becoming very popular as well in the comedy scene that I've seen, where they just look at people, right, pick somebody from the crowd and go off of that. How do you mix and mingle that? Do you do one thing or the other, or both?
It's a mix and match, but you gotta know comedy like cooking or like football or like any or like MMA or any discipline has a base. You know what I'm saying? Has a, you know, like a fundamentals to it. Crowd work is not one of the fundamentals. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Crowd work.
part of
That's the term. I was trying to bring in the term crowd work. Yeah.
crowd work. I wouldn't say is necessarily part of the fundamentals. Now it's really essential to have, but initially you need to be able to write a joke, tell a joke, work on your timing, and get out of there. Where the crowd work would normally come from like the hecklers. Let's say somebody early starting. Now there are comics who walk out there and have material for years, but just go play with the crowd to make every show intimate. You know what I'm saying? To where, like, so one of my favorite comics that I have to see personally is Tony Rock, Chris Rock's younger brother. I hate to say it like his name's Tony Rock. Who cares about his older brother? It's just Tony Rock. He's a good comedian. But when he comes in, you'll probably he'll literally stop his show and be like, yo, I should do some material for you guys. But that's because he's so solid in the game and has the ability with the wittyisms to do that over and over and over again. Now, I wouldn't tell a new comedian, if you think that you're just witty and you can get on stage with no jokes and no bits and just play the crowd work for 5 to 7 minutes, you're in for a rude awakening. You have to have the fundamentals, and then you build your crowd work and your crowd work ability. But first, you need to be able to write a good joke, tell a good joke, then work in the crowd. Like if you're a young comic or a greener comic and a heckler comes and throws in something into your thing and you're not ready for it, he might throw off your whole timing. But if you're disciplined to you, or you just keep going, you don't just ignore them. You know what I'm saying? Then as you get better, you address them. Then as you get better, you address them and add it to your set. Then as you get better, you address them and make everybody in the room either hate them or love what they said.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not like, you know what I'm saying, it's not going to happen one time. You know what I'm saying? This comedy thing is more like going to the gym than it is going to work. This is a muscle. Like I was trying to explain this to my mom. Eddie Murphy has 2 of the greatest comedy hours of all time. He can't do comedy today.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't ridden that bike in 40 years. And this isn't like once you learn it, you gotta keep exercising it. Have you ever golfed?
I have, yes.
Have you ever golfed 2 days in a row?
I have. And
weren't you better that second day?
Of course.
And so if you take a day off, you're back to day one with comedy. It's the same concept.
You know, a comedy is an art in itself. I've been to many comedy shows myself. And my favorite comedian right now currently is Joe Coy. With the way he's a Filipino comedian from California.
He didn't do so well at the Oscars.
No, the Oscars he fell very short.
Yeah, I didn't watch a whole bunch. I didn't watch it all, but I was like, I watched the monologue and I was like, ew. But then somebody was like, this is bad. I was like, it's not bad. He does this 300 nights a year. This night it didn't work. He's still really good at this.
Wrong crowd. Maybe can we say that?
I mean, yeah. There's a thing I say about comedy for me though. It's like wrong crowd. Yeah, but it's the crowd's fault if you don't do well. Now, you could go out there and ruin your set. You could do that. But if you write your jokes, practice your jokes, put your time in, put your work in, and then you go on stage and they don't laugh, that's their fault. Because you're booked tomorrow. And they're going to do their job at the show tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But some comedians could get down about that. Like, oh, I bombed. I mean, bombing, you have to do it. Me and a comic were talking a couple nights ago. It's like, have you ever had like 6 or 7 shows that went really well in a row? And he's like, yeah, I don't like it. Because I'm going to bomb soon. You know? I don't like 7 good shows in a row. Because it's like a ticking time bomb. It's like you like looking in the crowd like, dang it, this is it. You guys are the crowd. You guys are, this is gonna be bad. But I mean, you have to have those. You gotta bomb. You gotta do it.
We have a Q&A session coming up here in about a couple minutes. Before we get to all that though, Ronell, we have Ronell Hardin here. He's a comedian, also graduate of the Colorado Media School back in 2015, has been in radio and TV, but transferred his career to being a comedian. You know, I have a very annoying question for you, and I'm going to ask it in about 3 minutes, so just be ready for it. Well, I want to ask you this on the education side in regards to just social media. Like a lot of the times now, and you know this, you know, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, TikTok, and what we see are reels, you know, and the reels are about a minute 30 long. We're getting a clip of the comedy special, the show that was there, with captions on it, and you get a little piece of the show, and you get the bit, right? You get the good part of the bit. Do you go about it that way as well when you're out there? Do you have a show? Do you cut reels, or how do you suggest any comedian out there that's doing it to promote themselves on social media? Is that a good way to start?
Yeah, I think social media is the way. Where you go grab some of the most popular comics, someone like that Matt Rife guy, who with the crowd work, did a really good job at becoming like a TikTok star. I don't. He's a comedian to me, but I know so many people who don't know him from comedy. They know him from TikTok because of the way he went about it. So there's always that. I mean, you can always use the Kanye West approach. You can always get a camera, shoot a viral. You know what I'm saying? So however you get in is how you get in. I don't necessarily know if he would have got in the traditional way as rapidly as he did if he didn't have the reels and the clicks from the TikTok. But how do you go about using it as a starting comedian? So I guess I'm probably a bad person to ask about this because I'm stuck in the crux of this. I'm stuck in the middle of this. I don't want to flood the internet with my material because in the world that we're in, people steal. And I don't want to land in Atlanta next week and the dude right in front of me heard my joke on TikTok, thinks he can recreate it, and then next thing you know, I'm hearing a rendition of my joke. Now, I'm a high F, low D comic. You know what I'm saying? But just imagine one of these B or C comics who are somewhat kind of known, making, you know, something you might have seen them on something HBO or whatever, come and use my joke. Whose joke was it first? Do you know what I'm saying? They're already making money off of it. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's a fine line about flushing out material like that. And that's why when it comes to the social media or whatever, that's why I personally feel like the impromptu comedy and funny, or like the suggestion type comedy is good for the reels, because you're not going to go say that on stage. Like the skits and stuff, all those, the way that they get the clicks, hundreds and thousands of clicks, where if you do your bits, people hear about you and learn about you from your bit, but then deep down inside, they don't want to hear that bit at your show.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Deep down inside, they really don't. It's a saying from Chris Rock. If you listen to my hour, then you come to my show and you hear that hour, you're never coming back. But if you listen to my hour, then you come to my show and you hear a whole nother hour, I have a fan for life.
Yeah.
So Yeah, so it's a fine line with comedy because musicians can do this all the time. A musician and a magician can do the same tricks, sing you the same songs, and when he comes back around next year, you showing up. But if
Yeah.
Kevin Hart or Chris Rock show up telling the same jokes that you just saw on their special the same year before, you're not showing up. So that's why I say be weary with your social media. But let's say you're on the news. If you're on the news, if you're on a platform, something like this, go tell your best joke. Because you're going to get into a room of 300, 400 people where this could have 1,000, 2,000, a million people see this one clip and hear that joke. And then you get 5, 10, 5,000 followers off of it. So when you're in platforms like this, tell a good joke. Tell one of your good, strong ones type deal. Put it out there because the amount of people who are going to see this is way larger than how many tickets you're going to sell tomorrow in whatever rinky-dink town you're from. You know what I'm saying? But social media is a different animal because they get to rewind it and rewind it and rewind it. And that's where people start to steal.
You know, as you bring up the stealing and so forth, I have to ask you as a comedian, I'm sorry to ask you. This is not the annoying question, by the way. But okay. I have to ask you before we ask you to do a little bit, because you're going to have to do a little bit.
No, far away. I got you.
But Cat Williams, the interview this year, as a comedian, give me a 2-minute synopsis on how you felt about the viral interview with Shay.
I mean, let's say, okay, so hands down, best interview of the year so far. I think that's the most viral interview of the year on all fronts. I don't even think Donald Trump, I don't even think Kamala can make an interview that well right now. Like, they got to blow something up. You know what I'm saying? So that interview is hands down amazing. Shay, shout out. What Cat Williams said is, I mean, I'm not saying I'm a side picker, but I have to say that Cat Williams seemed more genuine with what he had going on, and stealing jokes is so ingratiated in the art. We do it all the time. Like the last joke you told was something that you heard somewhere. You know what I'm saying? My dad said that, and blah, 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 blah. Y'all laugh and y'all go move on. That's somebody else's joke. So you have to note that humor is ingratiated in lifting and relocating the joke. And so after you make and create your stuff, you don't want your stuff lifted. You want your stuff to stay in its packaged form. Do you know what I'm saying? At least until you can get all the money out of it as you can. Then you can do whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying? But what Cat Williams did is Cat Williams brought to light very big comics who were doing some heavy lifting, and it was on you as the consumer to go, are you okay with that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's comedy. It's not like the comedy police. It's not like the Supreme Court, the Carlin, Pryor, or 9 other great comics come down and be like, nope, you can't do that. You know, this is what we do. So him bringing to light that really, really good higher ups are fishing at people's bottom work to utilize for their art is scary as a comedian, because it makes me think like that goes to show that you got to keep creating. And then if you know how like every artist works, every artist has a signature. Every artist has a signature at the bottom of their painting, or every artist has or you hear mustard on the beat or something like that. Everybody has a tag or something to that nature. And so your jokes need to come out and sound so much like you, to where if I told you a joke right now, you would go, no, that's Chris Rock, because he put that on it. So that's what I'm trying to do before I just flood the market, is when you hear a Ronell joke, you go, no. That's Ronell. You know what I'm saying? Or I heard that joke in the Midwest first, you know.
Well, before we ask you to do the bit, here's that annoying question that I wanted to ask you. Just be ready. Are you ready, man?
Let's go.
You knew it was coming. Give me your top 3 comedians of all time.
Of all time?
For you, yes.
All right. I mean, let's say the top 3 comedians of all time, hands down, is Lenny Bruce, George Carlin, Richard Pryor. Now, and if you don't know who Lenny Bruce is, no, Lenny Bruce made a lot of money, but he died broke because you couldn't curse in the 50s and 60s. And he cursed and lost his life savings and fortune and everything so we can do what we do. And then you got Carlin and Pryor. If you don't know these guys,
Yeah, well,
you shouldn't be.
Yeah. Pryor's always on the list.
Yeah, and then if you want to make it a Mount Rushmore type deal, then you throw Chappelle in there. You throw Chappelle or Rock in there. Mine, Chappelle or Rock type deal. Many great people that like. I mean, Birbiglia. Mike Birbiglia is amazing. Eddie Murphy's the reason why I do comedy to this day. Like Ice Cream Man, I know that bit backwards. You know what I'm saying, verbatim. Sam Kinison, Bill Hicks. There's so many comics that have said poignant stuff that have changed my way of thinking. You know what I'm saying, from religion to economics to being a parent. Red Fox. I've been listening to Red Fox has 75 comedy hours, comedy albums. 75.
That's a lot.
75.
That's a lot.
You don't know how you don't understand how in depth a mind is to create that much comedy.
Yeah.
It may not all be funny, but it's all in the work of. So, those are all greats.
Nice. Well, Ronell, we're going to begin to some questions here in a second. I know Linda's going to be popping up on the screen. While she does that, let's go ahead and get a bit from you here. I mean, if you don't mind, if you would do us the honor, just give us a small bit here. We'll get to the question.
I mean, my thing is, I gotta keep it clean. I'll keep it clean for you guys because I'm a nice person. I'm a decent human being, as I like to call myself. But no, I'll tell you a little bit about me. I'm a single father. I'd love to be a deadbeat dad, but her mom beat me to the punch. So I do this I gotta cook, I clean, I wash, I dry. One thing though, as I hear this, people always tell me, they'd be like, "Oh, parenting's hard. Oh, parenting's tough." Not true. Parenting is literally doing what you do, just smaller. For example, when you're getting your kids dressed, right? You just put smaller clothes on them. When you're feeding your kids, you just slice them up smaller portions. When we're getting high, you just roll them a smaller joint. Psych. I'm a good dad. We do tiny dabs at my house. Whoa. Don't act like I'm the only person here who got NyQuil to bed in the 90s. All right, I'll do it. No, a little more about me. I'm newly single. She went through my phone. I had a clingy girlfriend though, like a ridiculously clingy girlfriend. She used to say some of the wildest stuff. She'd be like, "Ronell, anytime you seek pleasure, I need to be in the room." And I'm like, my wife is not going to be okay with that. What are you trying to get us both killed?
All right.
Good. I could do this for like 2 hours. We can go on and on and on. But no, I mean, it's really like I said, like comedy for me. I mean, just staying focused. I got my notebook with me. I keep my notebook close at my desk with me, but I have a digital notebook that I stay writing in. All the ideas go in it, even if it's not even a full idea. Like my daughter actually got mad at me. We were driving to go get cleats for her she had softball today, and I had to pull over. She was like, "Why?" I was like, "I got to write this down." She was like, "Why?" I was like, "It's such a good idea." She was like, "What's it about?" I was like, never mind. Let's go get your shoes." But it's a start because that's the seeds. Every joke started from a seed. This is something that I do tell people, and I try to tell everybody this. Comedy is for you. You can do comedy. Life, however old you are, you made it this far. And I'm almost certain it wasn't easy. So if you think about comedy and life, like life up close is a tragedy, but life from far away is a comedy.
Yeah.
So after you've gone through all that BS, the tragic stuff, when you sit back and talk about it with a friend, you start laughing. And that's the connection between life and your comedian. They just have a good connection between what happens that could be bad or good or indifferent in their life, and they present it as if, it's far away now, and now we can all laugh at it. I'm not saying it's all good, but it's all kind of funny.
Yeah, it's relatable. It's very comedians are relatable and personable to the audience in most cases, right? Which is how they
In most cases.
yeah, which is how you guys garner your success. So I definitely understand that. But it's awesome, man. No, I can't. I definitely got to check you out one of these times. If I'm in Colorado or whatever,
I'm actually in Chicago soon. I did Second City back in April.
Okay.
Second City and Zany's back in April. And then I should be getting back out there sometime before the winter, like during the fall. So like October, I'll be back out in Chicago. Somewhere in that time range. Hopefully it's not cold. Oh my God, it was so cold. I don't know how y'all live like that.
Yeah,
I don't know how y'all live. Yo, I was in Chicago. It was April. My coat didn't work. I live in Colorado. My coat works here.
Yeah.
You guys are known for what y'all are known for. We're known for having good quality coats.
Yeah.
I got to Chicago and I was like, yo, what do y'all use for coats here? This is some BS.
You blame the lakefront, my guy. Blame the lakefront. The wind off that lake is brutal when it gets cold. So, but we got used to it.
I wasn't ready for that, but Chicago's a fun city. I'll be back soon.
Cool. I can't wait to see when you come out here, man. We have a question. Linda has popped up questions out, so we're gonna get to them real quick. We're in the Q&A session here on the forum. We have Ronell here. First is Ruben. I think you can see the question there. How did you stay focused on one project at a time?
You want to know something? I don't. I ain't gonna BS. I don't. No, I mean it's not. Well, I have kids. I got kids, and I still got a household. I still own investment property. Like I'm still an adult. I'm a full-time adult first. But staying focused is key. So when I do get like a task, like a couple weeks ago, I had to write a whole bit for a show that was kind of programmed like the Daily Show, but there was no rehearsal. So I didn't get to say none of the jokes or not practice none of the jokes. So I had to sit down for 10, 12 hours, write this stuff out. Then I had to practice it and say it to myself like I'm an audience for an hour or two. And then I went and said it on stage as if I was as confident about it, but I wasn't. So how do I stay focused? Really, I mean, it's on you. Do you want to finish this or not? Do you want this done or not? Do you want to get this done or not? Because if not, go. I mean, there's somebody standing in front of the liquor store who quit a long time ago. You can go stand right with them. Or you can focus on what you got to get done, and let's get that done, and let's make it happen.
Well, that's good right there. That's absolutely good. Ruben also just says, how do you separate personality and stage presence?
Ruben, what you see is what you get, dog. My kids hate it. They're like, they can't stand it. And then my comedy world thinks they're like, you treat your kids like this? I was like, I got to. I mean, the world's not going to be nice to them because I'm a comedian. You know what I'm saying? They might be nicer because I got a couple dollars now, but not because I'm a comedian. So this is me. I don't really plan on like I said, the jokes that I told you, I didn't tell you jokes that I created. I told you something that happened to me and I just reworded it. You know what I'm saying? When it happened to me, I was screaming and yelling, blah, 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 blah. Then one day I sat back and was like, you know what? She gone. She ain't never, dang, that sucks. All right. Joke.
Yeah.
This is me. So I really try not to separate the two. I try to keep them together.
That's good. That's good. That's good advice there. Let's see here. We have another question. Hold on. I'm not seeing anything here. Sorry about that, Ronell. Oh, here we go.
I'm reading through the questions. Being a comedian, how do you stay focused knowing that you can't tune in? Was that the first question?
No, that's the third one here. So this is the next one.
Okay.
Yes. So it says, being a comedian, how do you stay focused knowing that you can't tune anything out with the potential of missing out on content?
Hold on. Knowing that you can't tune anything out, which is potentially missing out on content. So when you say content, I guess when you say content, I guess you're thinking about like my set, like when I'm on the stage and I'm focused on my set, and if I forget something or miss out or something, what it is like, I hope that's what I'm trying to answer. Let me hope that's the right thing. So what I'm saying is, if I'm on stage and I'm saying my stuff and I'm going and something slips in my mind, sometimes I'll just, the audience doesn't know that I am swimming naked. They don't know that. They don't know that I'm scared. They don't know they don't know. They don't know that I necessarily know what I'm gonna say. They should assume because I'm a comedian, but they don't know. That's where the element of surprise comes from. So if I lose something, I could fill some words in, put some space in, or you just go to the next joke, go to what and just keep going. And if you can figure out how to tie what you find out back, but note you're on stage for a time limit. Now, if you have an hour, that's different. You can play, mess up. Just hopefully, if you mess up, you can dig yourself back out the hole. But for me, I'm dealing in between those 15 and 30-minute sets right now, to where I'm on a time schedule and I have material to fit all my time. So I can't be fumbling my head because I'll mess up my timing, what I got going on, where I want to be at the end, where I want to land. This is what I tell people about like comedy is like with the Olympics were just on. That Olympic event when the girls, they're like running really, really, really fast and then they hit the pommel horse and they do all the flips. What part do you remember the most?
The flip. Oh, the landing.
The landing.
The landing.
That's it. So my whole thing is, who cares about how far I run or how much flipping I do, as long as the landing is right. The audience doesn't know that I might have made a mistake or that I slipped up or that the wording came out wrong. But if I land it, we in there. We're good. So
nice.
So that's just like an element thing. But I'll tell you what Ralphie May taught me. I never met him personally. I watched his masterclass though. But it is, remember your jokes. You wrote them. You should remember your jokes. And that's that. Like you did the work. Lil Wayne might be different because he thinks his raps and then throws it away. But if you wrote a rap and then you don't remember the rap, did you write the rap?
Right.
So I'm not saying that you forget the joke like that, but and then get spacing and timing. You could probably, section out and then forget, 1 and 2 and 3 and 2 and 3 and you know what I'm saying? So yeah. I can see that, but for the most part, practice.
Okay. Are you coming to Columbus, Ohio from Curtis?
Columbus, Ohio. Whew. Oh man. I am a diehard Notre Dame fan. And I don't know if I want to be anywhere near Columbus, Ohio, because the last time we played them, they didn't treat me well. But no, I'm down to come wherever. I'll come to Columbus, Ohio. It's a college town. What is that, like 80,000 people? I'm in y'all streets. And then we're going to go, as soon as I'm going to do a show, rip a show, then we're going to go to your homeless shelter, and we're going to pass out a little bit of food, help people, and then we're going to get out of there.
There you go. You're so kind.
You got to give back, baby. That's what it is. If I have one thing I can teach everybody, there's 2 books you need to read, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. It's law number 2, give. Make sure you're giving. You got to give. Give back. The only way, like I tell people, every time I'm about to eat a steak, I give somebody a piece of my steak, and right before I go back to sit down and eat my steak, there's more steak.
Very nice. Very nice. DJ Cynical says, where do you find the hustle and your passion, and how do you stay true to it?
DJ who? What was his name?
DJ Cynical.
DJ Cynical, you ain't got no kids, do you? No, it starts with not wanting to lose, man. Like if you come from a place where you've seen loss and you've seen despair and you've seen the other side, like you don't want to go there. Like there's a saying. It's like a I don't know, a folklore or something. It's like two boys grew up in the same household. They had a drunk, abusive father, and one grew up to be a drunk, abusive husband himself, and the other one grew up to be a very successful, loving man. And when you ask them both why they are the way they are, they both answer, it's because of my father. So it's your interpretation of the way life treats you. If you think the world's going to hand you something, get it, then go back to bed. But somewhere in my 20s, I learned that nobody's coming to save me.
Yeah.
So I'm up at 5:30 every morning. And if I gotta stay out till 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock and do comedy, so be it. But I'm up at 5:30 every morning. And that's what it is.
Yeah.
Memento mori.
Locked in. Absolutely.
Locked in every day. But memento mori, it's a Stoic saying from Marcus Aurelius. Remember that you too shall perish. So live every day like you know that you're gonna get to die. You get to die. So make sure you get to live first. And that's where the hustle comes from.
We got time for 2 more questions here. Hollywood is in the building. Hollywood asks, how do you remember your jokes?
It's a system. I call it memory pegging. It sounds bad.
Interesting.
Well, I put it like this. The young kids have changed the vocabularies of everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, have you heard them use the term raw dogging lately? Okay. I'm just saying. They've changed the way everything. Memory pegging should be use the old form of pegging, not the new one. But no, what did you do is you take your mind and you build a structure of things in your head. So for me, I have a structure of football or sports figures in my head. So like my 2's my Derek Jeter, my 3's my Dale Earnhardt, my 4's my Brett Favre, my 5's my homie Poncho's his favorite number. 6 is my Baker Mayfield. My 7, my 7's my John Elway. My 8, so when I write out my jokes, I write all my jokes out in my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 order. Then I know when I get down to my 13, I got to hit them with my Dan Marino. When I get to 15, it's Mahomes time. You know what I'm saying? And if I forgot my 12, then I hit them with the Tom Brady. They're not ready. Mm-hmm. And that's how I do it. But you could use any system. You could use cars. You could use trees. Initially, when I first did it, I had the 1 looked like a tree, the 2 for shoes, the 3 was like a pitchfork, and I would put my joke on that item.
Yeah.
And then another really good one is your room. Walk into your room, right now. You can walk into your room right now. You and I are looking at each other, and you can walk into your room, and you know exactly what's to the right. Put a joke right there. You know what's the next thing over. Put a joke on your table. Then the next thing over, put a joke on the door. Then put a joke on the lamp. Put a joke in the chair. Put a joke on the window. Put a joke on the bed. Put a joke on each pillow. And then when you get on stage, just walk through your room.
Yeah. That's dope. That's dope. Final question of the night here from Mr. Success Media says, how important is practicing?
I'll tell you straight.
That's the meat of it.
Well, I mean, it's this like happiness is the journey between where you're at and what you want to achieve. That's what happiness is. So if you're not practicing, if you're not putting the work in, if you're not showing up, are you happy with what you're doing? So when it says how important is practice, we made the golf reference. Stop putting for a week, and I bet you'll feel like you've never putted a day in your life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like comedy is not like riding a bike. You know, like there's some of those people who do like Excel spreadsheets. You take them off of Excel spreadsheet for 2 or 3 generations, they're right back in it with the formulas. This is not bad. Formulas change. You know, from show to show, you can have a group of people change in the middle of the show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So practice is so important with anything, with any discipline you choose. If you want to be a martial artist, go do some karate and take days off. I dare you. You want to bodybuild? Go bodybuild and take days off. You're going to lose. Yeah. And in this game, like there's some really dope comics in my scene from Jeff Steig, Ali Kareem, and these people motivate me because we do open mics 4 to 5 nights a week. Mm-hmm. The days that I'm sitting at home, I'm cooking for my kids, whatever, it's 5:30, 6 o'clock. I'm a little tired. I go sit on the couch. I'm about to turn on the Xbox and I go, Jeff Stone's at the mic. Ali Kareem's at the mic. Let's go. Yeah. And you got to go. You know what I'm saying? Because I am playing by myself. Like it's like golf terms. I'm playing the course against myself, but at the end of the day, you're going to see the other people score.
Yeah.
So you got to practice. You got to stay vigilant, and it doesn't matter what you do. Who was that question from? Was it from DJ?
Mr. Media. I'm lost.
Media success.
There you
Mr.
go.
Media success. There's no way in hell you're going to not be successful in media if you don't show up every day in some media form.
No.
You know what I'm saying? You can't be Mr. Media success and just have a crate in the middle of City Park and screaming your grievances. We're going to need to see, you're going to need to film it, record it, and put it out there every day. You know, and that's what I mean. And I encourage you to do that if you want to succeed in your media.
Yep. Ronell, you've been dropping dimes for about an hour, man. You've been completely awesome.
I got really 10 more minutes. Got 10 more minutes.
You've been great, man. Hilarious as well. It's so awesome to see somebody who is who was studied for our industry and networked so well that he ended up doing his passion. Like it's that's what it's all about, right? To find your niche, find what you want to do, and you are definitely a testament to that. On top of being very skilled, being very good with your camera presence. I'm sure your stage presence is amazing. And so I can't wait to see you, man, when you come down. Definitely, I'm gonna have to look you up. Before we do let you go and Linda comes back in here, tell everybody where they can find you.
I'm not hard to find. Ronell Hardin. You can find me on RonellHardin.com. Ronell Hardin Facebook. On Instagram, I'm Roneezy Problems. RONEEZY Problems. It's kind of my little moniker. Everything like, have you ever been sitting in a first class seat, but before they get to your seat, the drink that you thought in your head is at your seat waiting? Those are Roneezy Problems. So you should get some. And no, peep me out. I'm working every day. My YouTube is where you can probably see most of my my most recent stuff. I post clips. I'm trying to get better with the TikToks. I'm bad with the TikToks. The reason why I'm bad with the TikToks is because I'm a father of a teenager and my daughter's on TikTok all day, and I can't be a hypocrite going, "Hey, yo, post my TikTok," but you stay off of it. Like, so I'm new to it. So if anybody out there in the Colorado Media School world would like to help me with some of these social media things that the younger people know, I pay well. I compensate adequately. I'm pretty sure you can probably get some hours if we negotiate with Linda. You know what I'm saying? We can get you some hours for your internship. Remember, I don't know if y'all won't remember. I had almost 1,000 hours in my thing. I got 2 awards at it for like the MVP and most hours.
Nice.
Because I had 4 jobs. I worked at 3 radio stations when I was in media, and I worked for the Cronkies, who they just won a basketball championship last year with the Nuggets. So yeah, keep working. I encourage everybody out there, especially in the media school world, just keep grinding and shake hands with the people that you're with. Those people are going to get the jobs. That person's going to hire the person sitting next to you that you don't talk to, who's kind of dweebish, who's watching and creating anime all day, is going to have the job in 5 years that you applied for. And he's the manager now, or he's the person running it, or he runs the anime studio that you applied for. So network with these people ubiquitously, everywhere, all the time. You know what I'm saying? Shake hands with the lady at Starbucks. You don't know. She has that stupid idea that you've been tinkering with. So I'm telling you, your network is your net worth. You grow it, it grows, we all grow.
I mean, Linda, he's a motivational speaker too. Like, what are we doing right now? Like, let's get this guy signed up to, man. I'm about to run a big wall.
Check the website. Me, I'm telling you, I'm ready to work. I'm working. Okay. I'm working. I'm ready to go. United has my seat. I don't care what flight we got to get on. They know where I'm at. We know where we're going.
There you go.
I'm ready to
work. I'm ready to work. If anybody's in Atlanta next week, I'm in Atlanta at the Laughing Skull. Then I'm in Kansas City the week after the week after the holiday. What's the holiday coming up? Come on, guys, we're all adults here. That one. So that week, so Monday, so the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm in Kansas City. Come on out, show some love, however, and let's make it work. I mean, I'm working every day.
Man. And that's exactly how it gets done. I mean, right? Nothing ever sleeps. Media cannot sleep because somebody else is wide awake, ready to take what you have. So love it. Like, what a powerful hour. You were awesome.
And I got to shout out a couple people too. I know I'm taking over time, but I got to shout out some of my friends. Josh Dover. He was somebody I went to school with, and I have floor seats when the Nuggets won the champion, and he was on the floor talking on the microphone for the thing. Then my friend Zach Gully, he's the cameraman for the Nuggets, the Avalanche, the Buffaloes, the hockey team up in Northern Colorado. Like these people have taken the Colorado Media School and they've run with it, and they inspire me. So I want to shout those two people out individually. I know there's many, many more, but those two people right there individually, I can safely say I've shaken hands with recently. And you guys inspire me to keep going.
It's just wonderful. And you inspire us. So thank you. I'm so excited to be able to do more projects with you. It really was a great hour and plus some. So thank you for putting up with that too. And for everybody who's still here with us, I'm sure you could do a joke about that. I don't know, somewhere. Mike, check the mic. It's not working. Okay. Like, I'll do it, but I can't hear you. I don't know.
Hey, there's humor everywhere. We working.
That's it. That's absolutely it. So, okay, I'm going to get more information from you, and we'll put it. We're going to tell your story on social media tomorrow. And for everybody watching, I mean, I really think at the end of the day that the biggest takeaway is your future is in your hands. You know, take control of it. Do the things you need to do. Never stop. And I love what you say. Like, if you don't want it to happen, go stand next to the other guy where it didn't happen, because there's plenty of that going around. But if you want to make it happen, surround yourself with people that want to lift you up and really guide you as you guide them to that promised land. And it's promised to all of us. So thank you. Thank you for that. I'm going to ask you to stick around an extra minute because we'll catch a picture of you. And to all of our attendees tonight, thank you very, very much. And we hope to see you and learn more about you through the Be On Air Network. Have a great night.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, guys.